All right, Bears fans, the NFL trade deadline is just over 2 weeks away, 2 weeks from this Tuesday. So I have this question for you. Should the Bears be buyers or sellers? Type B for buyers, type S for sellers. Obviously, this team doesn't look like they're going to contend this year, but you could argue that Justin Fields needs some help to get through this season and for the future. B for buyers, S for sellers. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Today's episode of Chicago Bears Now is presented by Vincero Collective. Go check out their stylish watches. I got my game day watch on right now at vincerocollective.com/chat. Use promo code chat to get 20% off plus free shipping. They have the most stylish watches for today's most ambitious people. Go check it out today, vincerocollective.com/chat. Promo code chat to get 20% off. All right, trades. A lot of trade articles starting to come out. ESPN released an article for trade ideas. The Athletic did as well. And 5 trade ideas emerged involving the Chicago Bears from those 2 outlets. So we're going to break them down on today's show. First one up, Robert Quinn to the Los Angeles Rams. And this feels like a Rams type of move, right? Like they're struggling a bit. They need a little punch to get going here and to try and make that push to get back to the playoffs and defend their Super Bowl championship. We saw them trade for Von Miller last year. Maybe their trade could be for Robert Quinn this year. So here was ESPN's trade idea. 2023 third-round pick, 2024 third-round pick for Robert Quinn. And I'm looking at that now, and then I look at these numbers that Quinn's put up this year, and I'm like, hell yes, Robert Quinn this year has not been what he was a year ago. Only has 1 sack. It was that sack of Aaron Rodgers right there, I believe, compared to 18.5 last year. He's not even getting a lot of pressure. He's gone multiple games without pressures. I got to think there's no way the Bears get multiple third-round picks at the trade deadline. Now, I will say, 2 or 3 games until the trade deadline for Chicago. Maybe he plays a little bit better. Maybe a contender gets desperate for a pass rusher. Maybe they throw the Bears a decent offer. And if that's the case, that's something you heavily have to consider if you are Ryan Poles. But if a trade happened today, 2/3 are on the table, you absolutely take that and you take it to the bank because that is absolute robbery. Subscribe to the channel because if the Bears make a move, we will break it down here on Chicago Bears Now. We'll either go live or we'll at least hit you guys with the video breaking down the trade, the signing, injury update, whatever it is, we will have it covered. So subscribe today. We're almost at 54,000 subs, just over 200 away. Help us get there before the Bears play on Monday Night Football. All right, trade number 2. This one from ESPN. These first 2 from ESPN, next 3 from The Athletic. David Montgomery to the Ravens. And I've had a couple of people start to ask me, could Monty get moved? Could you trade him? And the answer is you could, absolutely. And Baltimore's always looking to beef up their backfield. So 5th-round pick for Montgomery. That's a tough one because I like Montgomery. He's a leader for this team. He brings a lot to the table, not just on the field, but he's in the final year of his contract, and we don't know where things sit right now. You look at his career with the Chicago Bears. He's been a nice player for this football team, but how does Ryan Poles view him? How do the Bears feel about him moving forward beyond this year? I think this, unless Ryan Poles has already at least made a decision where paying Montgomery is at least a long shot at best, I'm not trading him for a 5th. I would want a little bit more. I still think there's value in keeping him this season to help Justin Fields out, to help this offense out. Obviously, you don't want him to walk, but for a 5th, it's not like you're getting huge capital there. I'd want at least a 4th for David Montgomery. And I still think there's a scenario where he returns, whether it's on the tag or on a new contract. So I think a 5th is not enough for me for David Montgomery. He brings too much to the table, but we'll see how the next couple of weeks go. What would you do with David Montgomery? Type T for trade him, type K for keep him. It depends on the offer, of course. If it's a 5th, I'm probably keeping him. Throw a 2nd pick in there, maybe a 2 5ths. Maybe you could talk me into it. Let me know down in the comments section. Appreciate Vincero Collective for sponsoring today's show. Like I said, rocking my game day watch, even though the Bears are off today. It is a football Sunday, and I'm a big fan of their watches because they're exceptionally crafted in their headquarters in San Diego. Their motto is, hey, we're either going to do it good or not do it at all. affordable watches, a lot of these less than a couple $100, and they have different styles. You got the leather band, you got the mesh band, different faces there as well. This one's got kind of the GPS circles on there as well. If you're rocking a suit, if you're at a wedding, if you're at work, on the golf course, these watches are very, very versatile, and they're just going to up your style game. And hey, I'm kind of old school. I like having a watch on instead of pulling out my phone to check what time it is, and they look good in the process. Get 20% off plus free shipping at VinceroCollective.com/chat. Promo code chat. That link and promo code are in the description of this video. Trade idea number 3, this third one is the Athletics first trade. And let me just mention with the Athletic here, Roquan Smith to the Patriots on this one. Unlike ESPN, they didn't provide details. Like, they didn't say Bears get a second back or a first back or whatever the case may be. So I'll kind of just like explore these on these, even though there's not specific trades. Obviously with Roquan, he wanted to get paid. He even briefly requested a trade during training camp. Obviously, the two sides came to a resolution to play this season out because the Bears didn't want to trade him, and he's put up decent numbers, but let's be honest, he's been up and down. He certainly hasn't been bad. He was bad against the Packers in Week 2, great against the Texans in Week 3, kind of up and down since then. He's missed some critical tackles. He acknowledged that, that play on Jalen Reagor against the Vikings on the goal line, that's a play he's got to make. He's missed a couple other ones too. It's been up and down. He's still a good player, but is he a $100 million player like he wants to be? I don't know. I think that's up for debate. I would consider trading him for a second-round pick. Now, here's what I'll say, and I said this at the time, and I'll say it again. I'm open to trading Roquan, but just understand if you do, you're entering next year with 0 answers at linebacker. That means you need at least 2 linebackers. Nick Morrow's on a 1-year deal. Sure, you could bring him back. He could be your number 2 backer again, and you can probably get by with that. But who's going to be your top backer? Is Jack Sanborn going to emerge and be that guy? Like, you're on the market at linebacker at that point. Draft, free agency, like, you're going to have to bring some guys in here. Joe Thomas, I don't know, man. You're going to need linebackers if you trade Roquan, so just keep that in mind. Trade idea number 4. This one's getting a player to the Bears. Kadarius Toney to Chicago. I love the talent, but the reliability is just ridiculous. Last year when he played, he had a couple of big games. I remember he went off against the Cowboys for like 200 yards. He's super fast. He's got the type of speed Ryan Poles and Matt Eberflus look for when they add talent, but he's just too much of a wild card, man. I mean, Kadarius Toney is just not reliable. You look at his stats this year, in 2 games, 2 catches, 0 yards. He's been hurt since. It seems like he's always got some kind of a nagging injury. I mean, it kind of started with the beginning of his career. Remember last year, you guys may or may not remember this, he gets to practice and, like, his cleats don't work. I mean, I'm not saying that's his fault, but it's kind of a metaphor for how his career has gone. It's just like he can't even get on the practice field because the cleats don't work properly. I mean, he's a hell of a talent, and it's ironic that this was initially the Bears' pick. They traded up from 20 to 11 to draft Justin Fields last year. Giants take Toney at 20, but he's just not a reliable player. He's got, locker room concerns. It's not good for Kadarius Toney. I don't think I can trade for him. Maybe like a 6th or a 7th. But if you're the Giants, like, do you even do that at this point? I don't know. All right, last one here, and we're kind of just going to laugh this one off. This one from the Athletic as well. Justin Fields to the Commanders. Now, I could see why Washington would be interested. Not that Justin Fields is anywhere close to a polished product, but Carson Wentz sucks. So I understand that, and they would like to have a young talent that they can groom, but Fields is not getting traded, at least not right now. Maybe if they decide after this year they're going to draft a new quarterback, they could trade him, kind of like the Josh Rosen, Kyler Murray situation. Maybe that would happen. I don't think we're anywhere close to that yet. He's not getting traded. This year is all about seeing what they have, and obviously their numbers aren't good. I mean, let's call a spade a spade. But you also see plays in every single game where you're like, I don't know how many other quarterbacks are doing that. Like, he has a couple runs each game where you're like, okay, maybe Lamar Jackson can make that run. He throws a really good deep ball. It's the in-between stuff, the underneath passes, holding the ball too long. He's a great runner. We know that. But he's got to clean up the easier stuff. If he gets better at the layups and the 10-foot jumpers, he can hit the 35-footers. He can make 3 people miss in a collapsed pocket and go make a play and get a first down. Not many people can do some of the stuff he can do, but a lot of people can do the easy stuff that he's missing right now. So he's got to clean up the easy stuff. That's what this year is about. keep progressing. I think there's been promising signs the last 3 games. It's just about executing on the little things, like in the red zone, 0 for 3 inside the 5, unacceptable. Some of that's on him, some of that's on coaching, some of that's on Darnell Mooney dropping touchdowns. But at the same time, he ain't getting traded. There's no way the Bears move him in the next 2 weeks. Now, this is a real question. Do you want Fields as the Bears quarterback in 2023? He's the guy this year, whether you like it or not. Do you want him to be the guy next year? Do you want to build around him? Type Y for yes, type in for no. I'm definitely still leaning toward yes. Get pieces around him and then see how next year goes. If he's not the guy, then you got pieces. Go get a new quarterback. That's where I would lean. But let me know what you guys think. Y for yes and for no. Do you want Fields as the QB next year? All right, there you go. 5 trade ideas. Going to be a lot of trade content between now and the NFL trade deadline. So subscribe. Don't miss any of it here on Bears Now. Trade ideas, trade targets, Bears trade candidates, guys that can move away. We're going to do it all here on this channel. It's youtube.com/BearsNow. I'm Harrison Graham. Subscribe, and we'll see you soon here on the channel.